Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a wish list on NHL 22. Yeah, it's 22, right? I'm not going crazy. For some reason I thought it was 21. No, that's MLB. Wish list for NHL 20 dose. Um and I don't think it comes to anyone's surprise that, the NHL games are trash. They're not good. They're not good. The Hockey Ultimate Team, their dream child of the franchise, isn't good. It's pretty bare bones, lackluster in its appearance. There are other, Hockey Ultimate Teams, Diamond Dynasties out there that do it better. And are more pleasing to look at, like have better rewards, are just in general better, just in general. Their franchise mode is lacking compared to others. Yeah, I would say it's more middle of the pack. Their Bia Pro is laughable. In terms of my wish list, it's pretty simple. Just better. All right, video's done. No. Specifically, what do I want specifically done for NHL 22? But really more like NHL, 59 or 69 or 79, or yeah, it's never actually gonna happen. But this is something that I've been wanting for the NHL game for years, since I've been, a hardcore player. I've been playing it for, years and years and years. I love the NHL games, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. And I mean, there are, incremental increases in terms of the game getting better, but the NHL games are not even anywhere close to being good. And that cannot happen. So first thing that I want in NHL 22 is higher ratings. Connor McDavid should be the flagstone, highest overall. Should just be 99 overall. NFL does 99s, MLB does 99s, NBA does close to 99s. NHL is like the lowest when it comes to 99s. So let's get somebody up at it doesn't even need to be 99. Like, let's just get Connor McDavid up to at least a 97 plus. Just a 97. Like, at minimum, he should just be 97. But a 99 is better. It's just better. Like, McDavid should not be 93 overall, 95 overall at the start of the base game. He should just be 97, 98, 99. So, do that. Because if you do that, then it's easier to understand ratings in terms of players who are better than others, which is why we always get into these conversations about, is this player better than this player? Well, EA says so. Trade logic in NHL is bad, and they try to make it better in this game, in NHL 21, where they increased the trade value for draft picks. And in when you're thinking about making that change, it does actually seem like a good change. And then you put it into practice and it's really dumb. Because you're essentially driving the game even further away from realism now, because now you can make trades like you can in the real NHL, whereas, back in NHL 20 and other games, you have been able to make more trades that have been more realistic. But now it's just you just cannot do that. which is unfortunate. Draft picks are very circumstantial in terms of the draft itself, which you always know if the first overall pick is going to be like a generational talent, just a superstar, just an all-star. You know what I mean? Like, it's never like you don't have some idea of how good this draft is going to be or how bad a draft is going to be. Like in this year's previous draft with Lafreniere, it was shown to be a real deep draft. So this one would have been a draft where the trade value should have been a little higher. The fail for Nail draft, the Nail Yakubov draft, way back when, if we're looking back on it, that one probably would have been lower trade values on the draft picks, most likely. Like the only good player was Morgan Riley, and even he's not that great. He's fine. He's good. He's good. No, don't let anybody tell you he's not good. He's just not good defensively. He's very great offensively, but he's not that good defensively. I'm just saying. That's coming from a Jets fan, though, so I'm probably just salty because the Leafs are good, unfortunately. Now, speaking of more trade logic in terms of not the draft picks, but instead of the players, I've always had a problem with trade value in terms of players, because trade value is something that does not exist in real life. It does, but it's not like a static bar, right? It's not a static bar that is, this big or this small. Trade value is just, something that, every game has to use to signify a trade value. But, and I would love if other games did this as well. But I would love if trade value was just not a thing. I would love if the bar just not a thing. I would love if the stars in NBA just not a thing. I would love if like the bar in MLB is just not a thing. I just would love it if we did not have to worry about a trade value. And in terms of, well, how do you replace the trade value? It's pretty simple. Whereas in NHL 22, essentially what would happen is you would have essentially a GM screen where you could call up other GMs and talk with them essentially about multiple things, trades, this, that, this. You can essentially gain favor with other GMs, essentially like a relationship system with other GMs, so you can get good relationship with the GM, and that would make trades easier. You can get a bad relationship with other GMs and make trades harder. And also, this isn't something that's like super crazy. Like this essentially what I'm pulling from is like earlier NHL games from the phone era. Similarly, like, the trade deadline is great. The trade deadline is great. I'm sorry about that. The trade deadline is great in NHL 21. You know how they implemented a trade deadline day. Could be better. It could be better, but it's a good starting point. But it could be better. So hopefully they keep on improving it as the years go on. Similarly, like maybe they can improve like the draft day as well. I mean, it's fine, but maybe they can add like a few more screens in there for like just like the best available prospect, because in the trade deadline they have best available players, like the top 10 players, the best players from each team. They have that. So it would be cool maybe in the draft they also show best available by need. I mean, it would be good. And then going away from the trade logic, more so into the draft day and the trade deadline, there's another thing that I really want. And that's free agency day one. Free agency day one should be a mad scramble to get the best free agents. But it's never a mad dash. It's never. Day one in free agency is just, ooh, John Tavares. I'll throw him a contract. 6 days later, hey, so I've accepted your offer. All right, cool. It's nothing like, yes, John Tavares is signed with my team. No, it's just like, all right, so he signed. Good. All right, cool. And then like press X or A or whatever controller you're using, and then it's like, all right, did this other player sign? No. Oh, okay. Damn. All right. Well, whatever. Okay, this guy signed. All right, cool. All right, and then it's just boring. It's nothing. It's not like you're excited for a free agent to come to your team. You're just like, all right, good. He signed with my team and now with another team. All right, good. Maybe I shouldn't have overpaid by like $5 million, but I mean, I kind of have to do it. So, I would, because like that doesn't happen in the real NHL. John Tavares didn't sign 6 days into free agency. He literally signed like a few minutes into free agency, like an hour into free agency. He didn't sign 6 days later. He signed immediately with the Leafs. He didn't sign 6 days later with the Leafs. He signed immediately with the Leafs. Essentially, my thing is, how cool would it be? How cool would it be? Is if just like in the NFL games earlier on, you have essentially like a timer on free agents, essentially, and you have in NHL's case, what would be is so a timer, just like in the trade deadline, and so that shouldn't be hard to implement into a free agency day one. Essentially, you have the best available free agents. You have all free agents, right? But you have like the best available, best by need, right? You click on a player and you enter negotiations. That would be like you click on the player and there'll be like enter negotiations, view player card, cancel kind of thing. So you enter negotiations, and essentially, it's just a static screen, and it's just dialogue bubbles, and it's like player is asking for this much money, this much term, and you essentially have to essentially like go within like you have to like negotiate with the freaking player, instead of like where in an NHL 21 you can give a player a 8-year contract at 2.2 because that player is dumb, and the game is dumb because it doesn't calculate 8 years at 2 million when the player is in like year 2 a 92 overall player. It's like it should calculate that, and a player shouldn't sell themselves that short in an 8-year deal at only 2 million if they are like a 99 overall in like the third year of that contract, right? So yeah, a player should fight for their money. So a player should not be, and it's like there should be a contract loyalty kind of stat in the game. And speaking of stats, there should be a lot more stats in the game in terms of like tendencies, like in NBA, like the shot meter, in terms of shot tendencies, where we know that's a tendency in the game. It's a hidden stat in the game, but we can't see it because EA is lazy. So in the free agent negotiation screen, essentially the player is asking for, like, let's say it's John Tavares, and he's asking for the max years of 7, and he's asking for 11 million, right? You can add a little bit more, or you can add a little less and just negotiate with him, add like subtract the year because you can't go past 7, in free agency. But you can throw him an offer, and he's like, nah, I don't want that. Okay, so you used one of your essential offers, and you have 3 for each player in free agency. Is essentially how I think of it, right? So your second, you adjust again. Maybe you add more money again, or you subtract less money or whatever. You offer it again, and he's like, nah, and then you have to do it again. It's essentially, you have to find the sweet spot, if you will. But also, there should be another feature where in the game, it's like a player won't go to just any team. Like essentially, John Tavares went to the Leafs, right? So in his list of teams, he probably only would have went to a few teams, and he went to the Leafs. But he didn't go to, like, let's say, Buffalo. He didn't go to New Jersey, right? He didn't go to Washington. He went to Toronto. So there should be players in the game that have a stat, or not a stat, but like just in terms of like loyalty, or not even loyalty, but just like a stat of wanting to win. And if they're a free agent, they're not going to go to a team that's a bottom feeder. They're going to want to go to a team that is either A, middle of the pack, which is less likely, and a team that is, in the cup contention, or at least playoff contention, more so. So they're not going to sign with a team that was literally like the 25th worst team in the NHL. In terms of Hockey Ultimate Team, just feels like all the players are so slow, and the fact that NHL has these players at such a low base stat is just kind of baffling. NFL does this too, which is also EA, and it makes sense because EA is bad. But MLB does it the best in terms of their base overall players. Whereas like Mike Trout is usually always the best base overall player, but at the start of the game, he's not like an 86 overall like Connor McDavid was. No, Mike Trout is like a 95 overall, or he's around that area. Connor McDavid should not be an 86 overall base card at the start of HUT. He should be the best player to start the game. He should be a 97, 99, 99 overall player. He shouldn't be 86 overall. Unless it's a flashback card where when he was playing junior. But come on. Better rewards in terms of wins in Hockey Ultimate Team. In terms of, you should be getting way more coins for a win than you get. You shouldn't be getting like 600 for game completion, just a few for fan like ability or whatever it was, and then performance bonus like 1,000. You should not be getting like 2,000 or less for every game you play. The completion bonus, which is 600, should not be 600. It should be way more than that. It should be like 5,000. You should be awarded for completing a game. If you rage quit, you should not be given 5,000 coins, 600 coins. You shouldn't even be given coins for rage quitting. Like you're rage quitting, dude. Like, play the game. I mean, maybe if you're going up against a team that's really bad, really good, and you have a bad team, then okay, there's a little leeway there. But if you rage quit, I mean, that's just, come on, dude. So, I mean, maybe a rage quit is you get 600 coins. If you take a loss, you take 2,500 coins, right? If you make somebody rage quit, you get 10,000 coins. I mean, that may be a little bit overpowered, but you should get more coins for just wins. You should just get more coins in general for playing the game. And again, just better rewards in terms of players, and there shouldn't be limited players. There shouldn't be players that have like a time limit on them. That's just stupid. All players should be tradable. I mean, that's something that even MLB does, like non-tradable players, but NHL does that so often. It's just so stupid. NHL should also give out free free players in terms of like high overall players, like the MLB series does. There should be a, you know, level system like in MLB from like level 1 to, you know, level 100 in terms of like, you know, bronze, silver, gold, diamond, or however you would say that in the NHL term. That allows you to get better upgrades or better players throughout the course of your playing in the game. There really is no reason to play so long into a game. I know there are objectives and challenges and that, but they're not good, they're not fun, they're not just anything. It's just it's just a stat screen essentially, which is fine, but I don't care. And it's not like those rewards are giving me much. So, in terms of be a pro, contract negotiations have been bad since like since they've been added into the game. They've not changed it at all. You need to be able to negotiate with a freaking team. You need to be like, hey, so I have the most goals on the team. I have the most assists on the team. Shouldn't I be paid handsomely? But no, it's just you just get a contract offer and that's it. Like, and you don't even get many. You just get like 1, or you get 2, or you get 3. You don't get many, and that's just like, what? I would love to negotiate with other teams. I would love to test the free agency market. I would love if there was like an option where you could either re-sign with your team, or you can test the free agent waters. And really test the free agent waters, as in, you know, if a team, you know, comes at, like, ask you, hey, I want to offer you a contract, like, how cool would that be to, like, actually go in there and negotiate a contract? Can't do that in NHL, and you can't really do that in any other game, I don't think. But I mean, it would be good. It would be good. And that's just a few things that I want. I can probably talk more about it, but I'm kind of drawing a blank now. But yeah, that was a little small wish list for NHL 22 and 23 and 24 and every other game. Yeah.